You know, for the longest time, I just wanted to look normal, whatever that meant. Now, fast forward to today, I have that quote unquote normal body. And yet at the same time, this is the most confused I've ever felt about my body. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Hamali and I'm basically like your internet big sis. I share advice, tell stories, and talk about all the things that nobody wants to talk about. I feel like it's been a minute since I've made a get ready with me. Honestly, I went on vacation and I just fell off of YouTube. I don't think people realize how much work YouTube is, especially if you're maintaining an Instagram and a TikTok account. And like when you take a week off as a content creator, it's like no one's covering for you. You know what I mean? So I get back from vacation and I've just been playing catch up this whole time. Anyways, I'm gonna try to get back on my YouTube game and be consistent with it again because I really do miss doing these get ready with me's. And I miss you guys. A lot of you have actually been messaging me asking me like when I was gonna post my next get ready with me. So I'm excited to be back at it. So today's topic I think is gonna be a little bit of a sensitive one because I'm gonna be talking about my weight and the body positivity movement and like body dysmorphia and stuff. Honestly, I've been really debating making this video for a long time because I know how sensitive this topic is. But over the last 2 years, I've gained a lot of weight and I've been having quite a good amount of people commenting about my weight on Instagram and on TikTok, asking me if I'm pregnant or just like pointing out my weight gain. And of course, like when you're online, that kind of just comes with the territory. Like people are always going to be judging you, but I just feel like the comments were getting a little bit ridiculous. Yes, I did gain about 27 pounds over the last 2 years, which is a significant amount of weight. And I think when I tell people that I've gained weight, they're just like, no, you look good. And I'm like, I'm not saying I don't look good, but like, I'm just saying it is a drastic change. Like, I feel like almost 30 pounds is a large amount of weight to gain in a short period of time, or what I feel like is a short period of time. So I just wanted to talk about how it's been affecting me mentally because I would have never imagined that it would have affected me in the way it has. Now, before I dive into this topic, I do want to give a trigger warning because like I said before, I know weight and body image can be a very sensitive topic. And I'm sure for some people hearing a skinny girl whose body may seem like for the most part fits into the beauty standard talk about her weight and body image can come off like obnoxious or annoying or just like out of touch. I totally get that and I'm trying to be mindful of that throughout this entire video when I speak to this subject. But at the same time, I think it's important that people of all different body shapes and sizes can speak openly about their struggles because I feel like the body image issues that society has created that is ingrained in our culture is something we all need to fight against. And I mentioned before, this is a big reason why I shied away from this topic because I get that it can kind of come off insensitive sometimes. I don't want this video to come off as like skinny shaming is just as bad as like fat shaming. I don't think it is. I think they're two completely different things. I want to make it clear that I understand that skinny shaming comes more so with just like bullying someone about their body. And I don't try to say that lightly, like that is not good. Like no one should be bullied for their body type. But there is a difference when it comes to that and fat shaming because fat shaming is not only bullying someone about their body, but it also comes with like oppression and discrimination, whereas skinny shaming doesn't experience that level of like discrimination and oppression. At the same time though, I do feel like I shouldn't have to be silent about my struggles just because someone else has it worse. And I also feel like there are a lot of people out there who can relate to my story and find comfort in it. So I do want to share it. For a long time, I was made to feel like I wasn't allowed to complain about my body or feel like I had any type of like body image issues or struggle with it at all because obviously being skinny is way more accepted in society standards than being fat is. And so oftentimes I would suppress my emotions around it and you know, that wasn't healthy. And I think my suppressed emotions have manifested in negative ways throughout my life, whether it comes to like how I feel about my body or my eating habits, etc. And I just don't want to feel like I have to suppress those emotions anymore. And in case anyone else is going through the same thing, I also want them to feel like they're not alone. So yeah, that's just my little warning for this video. If you feel like it's not going to be your cup of tea or you know, the topic itself is just going to be very triggering, I suggest turning this off and putting on something that will make you feel good about yourself. Anyways, let's start from the beginning of my body image journey. You know, ever since I was young, I've been extremely skinny. Up until I was 20, I was around 85 pounds. And then after 20, I gained some weight, like around 10 pounds. And I like teetered between 90 to 95 pounds. I'm not trying to share my weight or to show off or like be obnoxious or anything like that. It's just to like give you guys an idea of how skinny I was. And I grew up in the 2000s. So you would think that that body weight was like the dream. Everyone wanted to look like pencil thin with a thigh gap. Like that was the, I guess, beauty standard of that time. And it was weird because even though I fit into that beauty standard, like literally I look like what those girls in the magazine look like. But for some reason, I was still constantly shamed about my body. Like people would make comments about my skinniness, like to my face with no shame. And it was always said in a way where they were like disgusted or appalled that I was that skinny. I feel like I've heard it all from people being like, oh, you need to eat a cheeseburger. I'm so surprised that you don't break when you breathe. You're gonna blow away in the wind. The amount of times my parents were asked, oh, do you even feed her? The amount of times I was asked, do you even eat? Like, do you throw up your food after you eat? I remember in grade 7, I even did a whole project on anorexia because I like just needed to prove to people that I wasn't anorexic because it was something I was called all the time. And when I was younger, I didn't think it got to me as much as it did, but like looking back at it, it definitely did, because like who makes a project on it if it wasn't obviously affecting you mentally, you know what I mean? Honestly, it was frustrating because people felt like so comfortable openly talking about my weight in front of me or to my parents and like criticizing it because I was skinny. You know, there's some level of consideration some people have around talking about people's weight if they're fatter. Not Indian people though. They'll make a comment about your weight regardless of your size. And I grew up around a lot of Indian people, so they had no problem openly talking about your weight, again, no matter what your size. But you know, there is some level of like, I guess, social etiquette when it comes to talking about people's weight if they are a little bit bigger. But when it comes to being skinny, people think it's okay to say whatever they want because being skinny is a good thing, right? Like it's the beauty standard. It's what everyone's trying to be. So if I comment about your skinniness, like you can't take offense to it because you are the beauty standard. And for me, especially, you know, young Humali who's still trying to find her confidence and find her way in the world, that was very confusing, right? Because society's over here preaching that being skinny is a good thing, right? It's all you see in the media. It's like all people talk about when it comes to body goals. We've developed all these like diet plans that help you achieve a skinny body. And yet to my face, I'm being told that I look disgusting and I'm being openly shamed for my body type. So yeah, I just think that's a very confusing message to send to anyone, especially like a young girl. And like I said before, I didn't think these things affected me as much as they did. Like they obviously hurt, but I didn't realize how much it affected how I moved through the world. And I especially didn't realize how much it affected my eating habits. I always thought I just don't eat a lot because I'm skinny and I get full easily, so I eat the amount that I eat. It wasn't until I got older, and actually until I met my husband, that I realized I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to eating in public. And that was something I didn't even put together until I was in like my mid to late 20s. Because when I met my husband, I ate a regular amount in front of him. Like I could finish my full meal in front of him because he made me feel comfortable. And that's when it dawned on me that all this time I had so much anxiety eating in public because I constantly felt like the amount I was eating was being monitored. And so when I had to eat in front of people, I was constantly overthinking like, okay, how much is on my plate? Like, will I be able to finish it? Will they force feed me? Because that's also happened to me quite a bit in the past, like where I have been force fed or I haven't been allowed to leave the table until I finished all my food, even though I was full. And so I really felt anxious eating in front of people because I knew I was going to be judged for how much was on my plate, if it was too little, or how much was left on my plate if, you know, I had too much left over and they're like, oh, you're wasting food, like you should be eating more, whatever. Especially because I always got comments like, oh, you know, you should come stay at my house, I'll fatten you up. Or like, that's all you're gonna take, and then them putting extra food onto my plate because they felt like I should eat more. So yeah, there was always that constant feeling of being like monitored. And when I met my husband, he never really made me feel that way. And I got comfortable eating in front of him, and I realized like, I can eat full meals. It's just crazy that I lived like that for so long and I didn't realize how bad my relationship with food actually was. You know, for the longest time, I just wanted to look normal, whatever that meant. I just wanted to gain some weight so people would stop looking at me like so disgusted. Now, fast forward to today, I have that quote unquote normal body. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I've gained a lot of muscle because I've been going to the gym and I feel like so strong now. And yet at the same time, this is the most confused I've ever felt about my body. And I think this is the first time I've been experiencing some level of body dysmorphia, which I'm pretty sure I've never dealt with in the past. I say pretty sure because I don't know, sometimes I discover things later on in life where I'm like, wait, actually, what was going on there? Anyways, I wouldn't say I hate what my body looks like at all. I just think I feel really confused about it. Like a lot of people, I think I have days where I absolutely love what I look like. And then there's days where I'm just like, why do I look like that? And I guess to some extent that's normal. I wish it wasn't, but I feel like there's a lot of people that can relate to that. So I don't want it to come off like I'm in this constant state of like criticizing my body or just like hating what I see in the mirror, because that's not true. Like I said, there's times where I love what I look like because I'm like, oh, I have these curves now and I feel more womanly and I feel like I've grown into my body. And then another part of me is like, oh my God, I've never experienced like a double chin before, or like these jowls or whatever the hell you want to call it, or like fat rolls, or like crazy bloating where I just don't fit into my clothes anymore, like things like that. And for 30 years, I heard comments about how skinny I was and how disgusting my body looks, that I had internalized it so much that it became a part of my identity. And again, like how much I internalized it and how much it became a part of my identity, I didn't even realize until I hit my 30s and I had this like significant weight change. And because it had become such a big part of my identity and what people had defined me with, now when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't recognize who I'm looking at. Like I don't recognize myself. And that's why I keep saying I feel really confused about it, because it almost feels like you knew something to be true about yourself all your life, and then within a short period of time it all changes and that's not who you are anymore. And so now you're trying to figure out what that means for you and who you are, and just trying to get used to like what you look like, especially when it comes to like shopping for clothes. Like obviously clothes don't fit me the same way anymore, and before I used to know that like, okay, the smallest size is what's gonna fit me, and I knew exactly which stores had smaller sizes or smaller fitting like clothes, and I would just avoid other stores that didn't. And now I'm like these in between sizes, so sometimes I can't tell what's gonna fit me and what's not. Honestly, I find online shopping to be the hardest. And it's also like confusing to see like the way my body moves as well. Like I said before, like seeing my jowls or my double chin, I don't know what people call it, or like seeing how I have fat rolls in certain areas when I'm sitting down, or how I look bloated, or I can get like love handles on top of my jeans. Like these are all things I've just like never experienced before. And I know that sounds very obnoxious, but that's just my truth. Like that's just what my body was like growing up. It wasn't like a good or a bad thing, or like none of these things are a good or a bad thing. It's just different. And honestly, it's just a lot to take in. Another thing that really doesn't help is the amount of comments that I've been getting about my weight, like on my TikTok, on my Instagram. Like I just keep getting people pointing out that I've gained weight, or I keep getting like questions about if I'm pregnant or not. And I'm like, do I look pregnant to people? Like, or am I just bloated? Like, I don't understand. Because personally, I don't think I look pregnant, but maybe because I'm skinny and then sometimes I get bloated, that's what I would look like pregnant. Like, I have no idea. Like, again, like I said, just very confusing. And at first it didn't really get to me, but like the more and more I see it, the more, again, confused I feel, because it's already a lot to like adjust to this new body I've grown into. But then to hear people like constantly commenting about it as well is just like, it feels like too much to handle sometimes. And again, I didn't think these comments affected me that much, but there's been times where I've honestly broke down looking in the mirror because I'm already struggling so much with recognizing myself and, you know, getting adjusted to this new body, that hearing those comments just, again, throws me off. And it's not like I would want to go back to what I looked like before, but I just wish I was able to come into this new body and accept it and enjoy it and, you know, just get comfortable in it without other people making comments about it. And I get that it comes with the territory of like being online and whatever, but it is still frustrating. Like I'm still allowed to be frustrated by it. I'm still allowed to think that that's, you know, inappropriate and hurtful. Another thing that I absolutely hate is that after I gained all this weight, I started going to the gym regularly, not because, again, like I wanted to get my body back to what it was, but because I think it just scared me that your body can change so fast. Like it was kind of like a wake-up call that I was like, I need to really start taking care of myself. So it wasn't necessarily like for an aesthetic thing. It was more so the fact that I'm like, oh, I'm getting older. I really need to like make sure that I'm taking care of myself because things can change so quickly. But since I've started going to the gym, I've been looking up a lot of gym content, like, you know, doing workouts and stuff. And I hate the fact that the algorithm has been feeding me like so much body checking content. Like what I mean by that is all these before and afters, or all these like really skinny girls with like 50-pack abs and like the biggest ass you've ever seen, and just like really like unrealistic bodies that are either like filtered or they have surgery, or maybe that is their real body, but they just have been blessed with the most amazing genetics, or like fitness is their job, so that's the only thing they focus on, so they have that time to like really dedicate to making their body look a certain way. And that was like actually so terrifying, like to see that all over my algorithm. I got to the point where I was like, this feels a little crazy. I have to start saying that I'm uninterested in this type of content. I started following more fitness pages that showed more realistic bodies, you know, like ones that were posed and then ones that were relaxed, so I could see just like what a natural body moves like, because all that other content was really starting to like mess with my head. And that honestly scares me, especially for like young girls, because for me, at least I'm like old enough and have gone to enough therapy and am confident in myself enough to kind of pull myself out of like going down that rabbit hole. And I'm glad I'm able to catch myself when I'm going down that path. And I'm also very lucky to have like a support system. Like I remember my husband, when I was like talking about my body dysmorphia and saying like, you know, I just don't recognize myself and I'm struggling with my body. Like he also pointed out like, you know, what does your algorithm look like? Maybe you're looking at all these bodies online and it's like throwing you off and all this stuff. And he's like, maybe you need to stop watching that content. Like I'm so grateful to have people in my life that point those things out. Cause even when he said that, I was like, no, I don't think that's happening. And like looking back at it, I'm like, that's definitely what was happening. And I needed to like get out of it. But I know there are so many women and also just like very young girls that don't have that go down that rabbit hole and just like never feel like they're enough. And the thought of that just makes me like so sick to my stomach. And it's crazy because like, you know, people would look at me and think my body type fits into the beauty standard for the most part. And yet I still find myself being a victim to this type of propaganda, you know, this type of marketing, this type of beauty standard that holds like women back. And it really just goes to show how trying to achieve these like unrealistic beauty standards is so deeply ingrained in us as women, because for years and years and years we've just been like marketed and bombarded with messages that tells us we need to look a certain way. And you know, I'd like to think I'm a fairly confident person. Like I mentioned, a lot of these thoughts come in bouts. You know, I have my good days, I have my bad days. And the fact that I catch myself spiraling, even though I'm this confident in myself and, you know, I've had years of therapy and I've really discovered who I am and I have a great support system around me, I don't know, just like really scares me that I can still easily go down that path. And it just scares me for other women, especially young girls and even boys, to be very honest. I feel like with social media now, they're also facing a lot of body image issues because you have all these gym bros and all that stuff. But I'm speaking, I guess, more from a woman's perspective because I am a woman and this is what I'm living through. I also don't think it helps that I work in an industry that is very superficial and that puts a lot of focus on outward appearance, which honestly sucks because I absolutely love what I do. But it is hard to consume content and be around people that look absolutely perfect all the time, especially now where it's really hard to tell what's real and what's fake. You know, like there's so many people that are using filters and posing a certain way and editing their content a certain way. Or there's so many people that are getting work done, whether it's like fillers or Botox or plastic surgery. Like there's so many ways to make things look naturally aesthetic that you can't even tell when something's been manipulated. I was telling my therapist, sometimes I find it really difficult not to pay attention to what I look like for two main reasons: because of the industry I'm in and because I thoroughly enjoy beauty and fashion. Like I love doing my makeup. I love getting dressed up. It is my creative outlet. It feels like therapy to me. But there is such a fine line between enjoying it as a passion and feeling pressured to maintain a certain look. And so sometimes I feel like my brain gets caught up in the two because they are kind of like contradicting to each other. And she was just telling me like maybe I need to do more things that, you know, don't focus so much on my appearance. And I was like, I would love to, but this is also like my full job. So yeah, another layer of why this whole thing has been slightly confusing for me. Anyways, this whole weight gain thing has clearly been a very different, confusing, and eye-opening experience for me. And I'm still navigating through it. I think I'm doing a decent job at it. All I can do though is really give myself grace and to really remind myself that the main reason I'm having majority of these thoughts is because companies profit off of women's insecurities. Like all of these insecurities are marketed towards us. They are propaganda. I feel like most of us fall for it. You know what I mean? Especially if you didn't grow up with feeling secure in your body and didn't have the right support system around you to make you feel good and confident in your body. And so it's important that as you get older, you unlearn this type of propaganda, which is, I think, what I'm working through right now. And honestly, all I want to do is get to a point where I feel neutral about my body, that I don't look at it in a bad or a good way. I wish, like, you know, I think the body positivity movement was amazing and it helped a lot of people, but I really wish we had pushed body neutrality a little bit more, because I truly feel like it would just be more beneficial to get to a point where we feel just neutral about our body, that our body is not a good or a bad thing, that we're just grateful that it's healthy and functioning and helping us move through this life. And I feel like that's just a healthier mindset to be in. And I hope I get to that point where I'm just not really focused on how I feel about my body or how I look. But yeah, that's kind of like the journey I'm on. And I really hope I can look back at this video 5-10 years from now and see some improvement in like my mentality, and gain some confidence in practicing body neutrality, because I really do feel like our bodies do so much for us, and to be so focused on what it looks like instead of like just appreciating all it does for us is sad sometimes. It's almost like I feel like I'm taking advantage of my body. You know what I mean? I just need to like practice more appreciation for everything my body does for me. And I'm also actually really curious to know if I would get out of the beauty industry. I feel like I might, because I feel like my passion now lies within like talking about different topics, especially like taboo, stigmatized topics, and, you know, like sharing stories and giving advice and things like that. So I don't know, maybe there's a podcast in the future or something along those lines. Like I have my own TV show, God knows, but it'll be interesting to rewatch this video years from now. But yeah, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on this topic. Please, please, please be mindful and respectful of me and other people in the comments. Like, don't say some outlandish shit. Like I said, this is a very sensitive subject, so I just ask you, please be kind and respectful. I would also love to know if any of you guys relate to my journey. But yeah, this is the final look. I really like how it turned out. I love this color combination. And if there's any topics you want me to cover in my next Get Ready With Me, or if you want to ask for advice or ask me questions, whatever it is, let me know in the comments. Send me a DM on Instagram. I have my Instagram also linked in the description below. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel, and maybe share it with someone that needs to see it. Anyways, thank you so much for all the love and support you guys constantly show me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!